Howdy folks, TJ here. How many of you watching this video have played Dungeons and Dragons? Show of hands, please. I did, but it's been decades and decades. I would say the last time I played Dungeons and Dragons was back in 1982, 3, 4 maybe at the most. Probably 82. And I've been wanting to for years to get back into playing Dungeons and Dragons. Now, I'm old. My wife and I are pretty much together all the time. We don't have friends that we go out and party with on a Friday night, for example. We're pretty much to ourselves. We enjoy our home life. We've got pets. We've got family. But none of them play Dungeons and Dragons. And I've been wanting to, for a long time, find a way for my wife and I to have some common things that we both strive, and that's an old-time clock, by the way, strive to enjoy. So recently, I purchased a nice new record player, and we've been enjoying, actually, finding records together, which is kind of cool. So we've been married 35 years, together for 38, 39. So as you get older, as you've been married a long time, most of the time you just argue. You're old married couple and you do your own thing. But I've been trying to find a way that we can enjoy doing things. So my wife lately, she's been buying me some little card games. We actually played a game last year. I think it was Exploding Cats. We played a round or two, which was nice. It was a little deviation from the normal. Me playing with my old 8-bit video computers and stuff like that, and her reading and doing her thing and watching Simon's Cat. We have our own things that we've got going on. But I want to play Dungeons and Dragons, but not quite there for playing Dungeons and Dragons of old, where you have character sheets and all these dice and all these. I don't like math, and I don't want a game right now that would be too hard to learn. And throwing a lot of numbers, throwing a lot of cards, throwing a lot of rules, it's not going to work. So I wanted to go back in time and try to find a game that I did play as a kid, and it's called Dungeon. Now, this is not, and I've been watching a lot of recent videos about Dungeon, and I tried to remember, did I have that game? I don't think I did, but I'm pretty sure that some of my friends did. And I remember this was just a quick, easy in, easy out, not too much thinking, a lot of luck of the draw, yes, some rolling of dice, but not a 20-sided dice, not a 4-sided, just your normal 6-sided dice. And it was a lot of, going in and just seeing what happens. And there was a game to it that there was a winner. Whoever got back to the middle of the room, we'll call it for now, won. So you wanted to play a quick little, get some beer, roll some dice, more of a chatting with friends kind of evening, less thinking of stuff. I wanted a game like that. So not long ago, it's been probably a number of years, I purchased Dungeons and Dragons The Adventure Begins. And it looks like a fun game. I made a video about it, and I had some ideas. Unfortunately, my wife and I have never played it yet. And in fact, I haven't played it as a solo. I don't know if you can even play it solo. I started reading the instructions, and it was a little too complicated still. Again, I wanted something very simple to play. Just something that we can test the waters. And this dungeon game has been around for eons. Not the one that I'm holding, but back in like 1975, TSR, who were the original Dungeons and Dragons people, they came out with Dungeons and Dragons as we know it, where you had characters that you chose and you rolled dice and you get a dexterity and all these things. But they also came out with a board game, a simple board game for the family. Something that was a little bit easier to learn, easier to play, maybe 30 to 60 minutes, and you knock a game out. There's some people, and as I've been watching some of the videos, some people say, yes, it's a good collector game, fun for a round or two if you've got kids, but for ones that want to explore deeper battles and rolling lots of dice and having lots of other luck of the draw kind of things, it may not be the game for you, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an easy in. My wife knows what Dungeons and Dragons is, but she never played it. This is not Dungeons and Dragons, but it is in the same family from back in the day. So I thought, why don't I buy the game? Now, if you go to eBay, the original version of the game, people are asking a lot of money for it. $70, $80 for the old original one. There's 6 different versions, I think, of this same game. Slight differences over the generations. The original one is in 1975, and then they had another one in, 1980 and 82. I don't know what years they are. But they did adjustments, they did changes, they did tweaks, and all of them are similar but a little bit different. I decided to, rather than buy an $80 version that may be missing some of the game pieces, let's buy the current version for 20 some odd dollars. And it is called Dungeon, the fantasy board game. And it is very much in the flavor. This version looks a lot similar to the original version. There's some other versions that don't quite look the same general dynamics of the game, but they didn't stand out as much to me. I kind of like the graphics of this one. This video, by the way, is going to be a little bit on the longer side. We're not going to play the game. This is an unboxing, a discussion of why I'm buying this game, and maybe it might entice you to say, you know, I used to play Dungeons and Dragons. No, I don't hang out with people that play Dungeons and Dragons. The odds are, no, I'm probably not going to join some local club. I'm going to guess most of the people playing Dungeons and Dragons, I shouldn't say they're on the younger side, because I know there's a lot of older folks that play it as well. And if you watch on the YouTubes, there's people like Critical Role. I didn't even know what a Critical Role was, other than back in the D&D games. But Critical Role YouTube channel that has all this. They're RPGs. What's RPG stand for? I forget. Role playing game. Oh, there you go. There's lots more than dungeons, and there's a lot more than dragons. There's all sorts of things that are different, but it is a big whole world that I would like to explore a little bit, but not so much so that we're sitting here planning and there's a dungeon master and all that stuff. I just want my wife and I to, at some point, go into a battle together. Not her against me, because she'll kick my ass, but battle together where we're both plotting and playing a game and trying to beat the nasties and win. That's all I want. And if we could drink a little wine while we're playing it, cool. If we ever have friends that actually would like to play it, that'd be cool too. But let's start by getting a game that I can play myself, which this game does have a single user option. But then I would like to have my wife and I try to play together and go against each other and try to win. And then we could also maybe play together and also have it to where the nasty is coming after us. I think one of the single user versions of this game means that you can try to get the loot that you need to get, because you have to get a certain amount of prizes or gold, treasure, and then you can go back to the middle of the board and win. But you may need to try to do that before the nasty gets you. So anyway, Dungeon, fantasy board game. And it says Dungeons and Dragons on the bottom. This is all factory packed. I think there's one version that's slightly newer than this, and I didn't like the graphics as much as on this one. So do your homework. If you like dungeons, you may want to collect some of the older ones at some point, but we're going to start with this, see if we actually play it. And if we play it every so often, then it's going to be worth the 20 some odd dollars I spent. Let's go ahead and let's show the box first, and then we'll open it up. So here's what the box looks like. It's got wonderful dragon picture, and it's got this, I don't know, I think this is a creature, if you follow the world of Dungeons and Dragons, that may have some heritage or some links to something. But down below it says Dungeons and Dragons, ages 8+. The back of the box says a fantastic game adventure for the whole family. And so here's the back of the box. We'll show up a little bit more later. Side of the box says a dungeon, and you got to get the exclamation in there. Dungeon. All the sides say dungeon. Kind of like Odyssey 2. If you're an Odyssey 2 owner, every game was Casey Munchkin. Pickaxe Pete. You got to add that exclamation to it. Let's go ahead and open this. Got the plastic on it, so it's kind of always fun to do a little bit of an unboxing for 1 to 8 players. It says. Now, what's cool? The original version of this game that's from 1975, instead of actual little cardboard pieces that are your heroes, we'll call them, they were little pieces of plastic that looked like, I don't know, just a little like Stratego piece or something. You're running, what the hell is Stratego? So on the back of the box, it shows what the board looks like, and it says game components: 8 hero standees, 2 rogues, 2 clerics, 2 fighters, and 2 wizards. Now, the sad part is my wife likes elves, naturally. So, the original game, I think you could play as an elf. No elf option in here. But I guess some of the neat things about Dungeons, since it's such a fairly basic game, some people make new rules. And those new rules, you kind of work into your own game. So maybe over time, if we played enough, we'll add our own character. We'll go out and buy some little Dungeons and Dragons pieces and paint them. I think my wife actually, even though she didn't play Dungeons and Dragons, I think she has some Dungeons and Dragons pieces, believe it or not. And so we can make some of our own world, our own rules. There's 165 monster, treasure, and spell cards. There's a rule sheet, 139 number, lose a turn, defeated, and magic sword tokens, a game board, and 2 6-sided dice. Is there a date? This one's dated 2014. So like I said, I think there was a 2012 and then a 2014 version. So this may be the last one that they did. And the back of the box, it says Dungeon is an exciting fantasy board game that provides hours of fun. Play a fighter, a rogue, a cleric, or a wizard searching for treasure in a dungeon filled with monsters. Only your magic, your weapons, and your wits can protect you. So it looks, again, very fun. So let's open the box and see what components are in here. Now, I know some unboxing videos, they could be a little bit on the boring side, but we're just introducing you. You may have never heard of the game Dungeon. You may not have ever played Dungeons & Dragons, but may want to explore it. Now, this is not, like I said, Dungeons & Dragons, typically where you have your own character you create and you roll dice and you get dexterity and all these things and you get hit points, and as you battle, your hit points come down. It's a little different, but it's in a similar family, we'll call it. So right off the chute, the box has this big black corridor, and it looks like just a whole bunch of cards just in 2 little packs here that we'll have to explore. There is a Dungeons & Dragons Creo Master the Battle. It looks like Legos. I've never seen this stuff. Is that what they are? Legos? I got an itchy ear. Master the Battle 2014 Wizards of the Coast. If you don't follow Dungeons & Dragons, it like everything, there's always turbulence. I've been watching, Critical Role for a little while now and some other channels. There seems to be Hasbro's having a lot of issues with Dungeons and Dragons, and there's battles within the company and outside the company, and issues and problems, and everybody's pissed at some time. It's drama. That's what people like, and that's what sells, I guess. But there's weird drama with that as well. Open another adventure. So this is basically a brochure of other things you can buy. Now, if this came out in 2014, this game is already now 10 years old. But apparently there's some other Dungeons & Dragons game, Legends of Dritz, Dungeon Command, all sorts of other things, fun things. Okay, then there is the booklet. And the booklet looks really fun. It's just a whole bunch of, it's paper. It's not a hardback or anything. But it's a big pullout, it looks like. Oh, boy. Look at this. So, huge ticker tape. We're just kind of showing you a little bit of a close-up here. That's that side. And then this side, and I'm digging the graphics used on here. This is the kind of graphics that I kind of liked about the Dungeons & Dragons of old. These look, colorized, but they look very fun. So I think this is neat. And then, so I'm going to have to read this booklet to get familiar, but the basics of the game are very simple, I think. But how to win, run through the dungeon, fighting monsters and collecting treasure. Be the first to go back to the Great Hall with enough treasure and you win. Quick start rules, and there's basically steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. There's only 4 steps. I guess I might as well read them. Now, it gets into more intricate information about all of the stuff, but step 1, move your hero. Step 2, encounter a monster. Step 3, combat a monster. Step 4, loot for treasure. That's what you do. and it shows you what the cards and everything kind of look like. So, little booklet that comes with it. This center section must come out because it feels some heft in here. So this comes out, and here is 2 6-sided dice. The older original game had these colored dice, maybe orange or something. So this is a lot of little pieces that I need to tear out. So they just printed it out. I guess there's little scores in here. We'll be plopping each one out, but these are the heroes, it looks like. And then here's some little time clocky looking things. Some numbers. And then all of these, I believe, are little like headstones, because when you battle and kill a rat, you put one of these headstones in the room saying, you've tackled this room, you won, and the monster's dead. So you put a little thing in there reminding you that somebody's been in there already, and you can't really go in there for more loot because TJ already took it. So a little board of all of the different pieces. And it's just cardboard, nothing super special. But it is what it is. It's $20. Then here's the board. And then empty bottom of the box. The board is really neat. So it's a trifold cardboard thing. Let's hold it up like so. So here is your playing board that you'll be able to lay down. I'm going to hold it at various angles here for it to show. And a little bit of a close-up. So in the middle is basically where it's called the Great Hall, and all of it's got fun little graphics. Armory, level 3, guard room. What's cool about the old original one is they actually had little pictures of some of the nasties along the way. I don't know if I see that as much here, but it's got little tables. It's got little, little graphics that make it look like a dungeon, right? And then it even includes down on the bottom some rules. So if you look down at the bottom there's some rules and some information so you can quickly be able to look at the board. The cards, I'm not going to open, I need to open some cards. So to at least show you some cards here. Because what happens is you need a decent sized table. And once you get the table, you're going to be laying down some cards. There's a directory, and we'll go through this when I think what I'm going to do is make a video of me doing a solo run, and then I can show you how everything's set up. But basically, you're going to have some treasure cards and some monster cards, I think. And as you move your character 5 spots. So you start in the Great Hall, you move 5 spots, and you go into a room. And that room is where you then start your battle, possibly. And the battle will be with possibly you grab a monster card, and the monster's going to be this, and you roll dice. And if your number's above this, you win. If it's below that, you lost. And if you lost, well, you may have died, or you may have gotten some of your treasure stolen. So you have to roll another dice to say, hey, that monster beat me, and it took my gold or whatever. So there's different things along the way, which you'll get to see later. But let's show some of these cards, and then we'll call this kind of video a wrap. So I know for some, again, unboxing videos are kind of boring, but if you've never played Dungeons and Dragons, I'm trying to find that magic game that my wife and I can play together, and I want it simple. And two dice, little cards, and you go off of what the little card tells you to do. Let me see. So there's level 3 cards, level 2 cards, level 1 cards. So there's different levels. I think there's 6 different levels, level 1 through level 6. Level 6 is the layer, by the way. And so there's level cards. Let me just show you kind of a close-up of... So here's a level 3 card. I don't know if this will come in or not. And sack of gold. So these are the treasures in level 3. So there's treasure cards, like I said. So let me put that back there. Are there monster cards in here? Okay, here's I think a monster card. Okay, so here is a level 3 nasty. That looks like a dragon, right? Hopefully it's coming in and it's focusing in. Here's the back of the card, and it's this is just a dragon. It's not saying that this is the actual monster. It's an ogre. And what happens is, see these numbers down here? Whatever character you choose. So say your hero is one of these, because your hero has a different color and a different little icon associated with it. What happens is you have to then roll that number or higher in order to beat the ogre. So it's a simple one roll that you battle, and you either win or lose. So that's where it's very simple, which for again, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Battle, you roll the dice, you either win or lose, and if you lose some stuff. So there's monster cards, there's level cards for the actual gold and prizes and treasure that you can win. And then there's these other cards. What are the other cards? Okay, there's more loot and treasures that you can get in here. Let me see if I can open this one up without chomping it. And then we'll call this video a wrap. So like you can kind of see how it's generally simple. So with a little card, like I said, you've got one of these heroes. And so you go to this particular icon on that card, where it says, if you're this particular character, which is the little green sword, then on that card, you look for the green sword, and there's a number, and that number is 6. You need to then roll the dice and have 6 or above in order to beat it. So very simple mathematics with this one, which I kind of like. I just want something very simple. So did I make a slit in this one? I think I did, but... And I just want to show you a couple more cards. So very basic, but I think this is going to be one for my wife and I to actually test the waters. This, and if she don't like it, that's fine. At least I'm trying to do a husbandly thing and have her participate in some of the things I enjoy. So here's some other cards. So I don't know what these are. Look at this. Looks like two little people side by side. I don't know what this card is. And I don't know what those are all. Oh, I think that's a magic thing. This little lightning bolt, I think you could, as a magician, not a magician, a wizard, a magician, level. Okay, yeah, this is more prizes. Magic sword, and it's worth 2,000. What happens is, as a particular character, you need to get, for example, I'm just going to throw out numbers. To be able to leave the Great Hall, you've got to go find it, loot and prizes. You've got to get 10,000 pieces of gold or treasure worth that in order to possibly win the game. Once you've got your 10,000, then you have to work your way back to the center of the board where it is the Great Hall, and if you have that 10,000, you won. Whoever gets there first with what they're supposed to get. Wizards have to get like 30,000, so they've got to collect a little bit more, but wizards can stand out of a room and cast a magic lightning bolt or whatever into the room before they actually enter it. So they may be a little bit more powerful in some things, and the way that they make these numbers, some of the characters are better off, like the cleric may be better off on level 2 and 4. That's where they've said this this particular cleric's going to be better at, where the rogue's going to be better here and here. So they've given everybody a little bit of a specialty. So technically, you can go in, it's set from 1 to 8 players. So you can basically go in as a team if you want, I guess. And then at the end, whoever can get back to the middle is the actual winner. You work as a team, and then you say, screw the other guy. I'm going to win and go back into the middle of the room. So anyway, I think this is cool. It's very basic. Again, rolling of a dice. There's going to be some cards involved that you lay on the boards as you're working your dungeon. It's got pretty fun graphics. It seems very basic. Again, roll the dice. You either win or lose, and if you lose, you roll the dice again, and that's what's taken away from you. I guess you could possibly die as well. So anyway, a very toned down board game version of kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, but in a very simple format for somebody that doesn't like math like me. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Next time I make a video, I'm going to set everything up and then show you how you set it up, and then play around by myself for the first time, and then see if I like it. And if I like it, I'm going to see if I can convince the wife to join me. Maybe I'll get a bottle of wine and say, look what I got. You can have this if you win the game. And then we'll play and battle, and whoever wins gets that bottle of wine. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.